Hello, everyone, and welcome to Star Trek Sanctuary, a Starbase centric second edition game of the rules Star Trek Adventures by Modifius Entertainment. My name is ELH, the Game Master, and joining me are three lovely individuals who you kind of met last time and will meet properly this time, starting with Techno. Techno, who you playing, and anything you want to shout out?
Hello, I am playing Kiani Tell, who is probably very confused about whether that is her name now or not, as she was very, very recently joined with a symbiont unexpectedly. Um, I have nothing in particular to shout out. Just happy to be here again.
All right. Arwen.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. I'm Arlen. Thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday. I am playing the default chief engineer, or suddenly promoted into chief engineer, Lieutenant Commander Oberon. And what I want to shout out, I'm going to shout out January birthdays. So the three of us are in the January birthday club, and
Yippee!
Bean had theirs at the beginning of the month, and I just had mine last week, and Techno has his coming up. And winter birthdays in general, but especially January birthdays, are tough because everyone is still broke from Christmas, and everyone's on a cleanse or going to the gym, doesn't want to eat anything, fun, and the weather's usually miserable and no one wants to go out. So for all of you winter birthdays out there, I see you, and hang in there. You are valued.
I note that you didn't say anything about October birthdays, but I'm going to look past that.
What's wrong with October birthdays? Beautiful weather and Halloween? That's amazing.
Unless you're ELH. Anyway, we don't need to hear about ELH's problems. Bean, what do you got going on?
I am Bean underscore Goblin VT. I am just a little goblin. I am playing Commander Shishiro, who, due to misfortunate events, has now become the commander of the station and is barely holding everything together. Or at least I hope I'm barely holding everything together because it's not going to get any better anytime soon. I'd like to shout out Techno and his amazing blender skills for all of the wonderful intros we get at the beginning of these the series and all of the work he puts into it. He is definitely the blender wizard.
Also, I hear he
Thank you.
takes commissions, so if you want an intro for
Oh
your
yeah,
Star
you
Trek
should like
Adventures
commission
game,
Techno to
contact
get him
Techno
to
on
do
Blue
more
Sky.
work with spaceships because he's really good at spaceships.
Yes, I did personally hear that someone wanted to commission Techno for their live stream intro. So hopefully they will be in contact soon if they haven't already.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't. Thank you.
Well, speaking of nice intros, let's see the one where Techno blows up the station for a third time. And welcome back. So, since this is a two-parter, you get the stereotypical last time on Star Trek Sanctuary, where the Starbase itself was hit by a unknown phenomena that we saw in the introductory video a few moments ago, where the Starbase was almost shattered completely as it was thrown somewhere far beyond where it used to be. But nobody knows where you are in particular because not only are the Starbase sensors not working, a lot of the support ships are damaged, a lot of sensors have been unable to determine, the sensors that are working anyway, are unable to find salient stars to figure out where you are in astrometric terms. And just overall, everything is just screwed. Everything is just screwed. But where we last left off and where we were going to start is with a shot of the USS Versailles, a Nova class, which was somewhat spared, the Wrath of the Yeatning, as we call it. But we see the Versailles moving out of the saucer section of the Starbase and angling towards a broken but somewhat still intact secondary section of a Galaxy class starship, the USS Renee. And Keani Tell is in command of that, or no, it's Oberon that is in command of the Versailles at the moment. And my first question is to Lieutenant Commander Oberon, how are you approaching the Renee? Is there any scans you want to perform, perhaps to get you some momentum? Because chat did already give you one momentum, but they also gave me 2 threat. So
I'd love to have a crack at scanning the system and taking detailed scans of the starbase to see exactly what's damaged.
okay. So this is going to be a little bit interesting because this is going to be, for at least the starship, this is going to be a sensors and engineering, and then performing it, I guess, as Oberon themselves. You are doing a reason engineering. Difficulty on this is a 2.
Okay.
Now remember, the Versailles, if I remember correctly, has advanced sensor suites, which means that
Let
you
me
roll
just pull up
2
the
d20
Versailles.
on an assist.
All right. Do you want me to get the Versailles tech, Arwen?
That would be wonderful if you could do that. Thank you.
All right. So it's a sensor science, yes?
Sensors engineering.
Sensors engineering. It doesn't make much difference for this. Oh, no. It would make a big difference because it has a sensor 5, but never mind. Okay. Uses a focus, rolls a dice. It
All
got
right, that's already 2 from the
2
Versailles.
successes.
Great.
Just
Fantastic, Versailles. And so we're scanning the station right now, right?
You're scanning both the station and the Renee.
Okay. So since I'm looking at like the structure of the ship, would my astronautics focus, which is about, designing starships and understanding how they work, and would that come into play?
Yeah, you can have that.
Yay. Oh, I didn't have to fight as much as I thought I was going to. Okay.
Listen, you just have to justify it in terms that are easy for me to understand.
All right. And I'm spending one of those momentum to get an extra die.
Okay, shooting for momentum to the stars.
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
Oh.
you probably want to reroll that 20 with your cautious engineering.
Agreed. Let me just set that up at 1.
You already had 13 threat. We don't need more. Says the captain
There we go.
who's about to
Well,
give
at
more.
least it's not.
So that's
No
4
more
successes,
successes,
overall, which means you get 2 momentum back, so you gained 1. Yay. And what you learn is the following, and I'm also going to speak in game terms, so bear with me. So if you will consult Starbase 4337, you can see that obviously all of those breaches listed are what you are now understanding. Whereas before, when you were in the Starbase, a lot of the core systems, a lot of the communications, a lot of sensors, you didn't really know how bad the problem was. But for the people at home who don't have the benefit of looking at Foundry, I will explain a little bit about what's going on here. So Starbase 4337 is a Sanctuary class starbase. It is scale 12, and currently it is suffering in order 4 breaches to communications, 3 breaches to computers, 3 breaches to engines, 4 to sensors, 7 to structure, and 4 to weapons. Now, that structure is very important, at least in second edition Star Trek Adventures, because that means, since it is more than half of the scale of the station, again, 12 scale divided in half, 6, any roll that would involve structure on the station automatically fails right now. So structure, completely foobar. Completely snafu foobar. And aside from that, I also would like to highlight that the Starbase has some traits involved. And right now, as we mentioned last time when you were fixing the reactors, you have 3 of your 6 reactors. You have a reduced docking capacity. Your industrial replicators are currently broken. But on the bright side, your advanced medical ward is functioning. So you got that going for you. That is the Starbase. Let's talk about the Renee. The Renee, once again, is the secondary half of a Galaxy-class starship. And what I'd like you to imagine is that there is a great crack that goes down the left stanchion that holds up the nacelle. So it's not completely sheared off, it's not completely exposed to space, but there is a noticeable from the exterior fissure in the nacelle support structure. And if that wasn't bad enough, the deflector has been completely burned out. The part that would hold the saucer to the secondary hull has been ripped apart as if 2 great hands grabbed the Galaxy and just wrenched it apart. So there's a lot of space that's exposed to space. And what life signs there are located mostly in main engineering and the surrounding areas that are kind of in the core of the secondary hull. And as a reminder, you have 200 life forms on the Renee right now, and most of them are in flux.
All right. I want to hail them.
Okay.
See if anyone answers.
No one answers.
Okay. While on the topic of hails, while we're working on other stuff, I'm going to order that a vague distress call is put out, and that someone try to contact Starfleet.
Okay. It has been noted.
Okay. And can I beam over to an area that has life support that seems to have the most people?
Yeah, like I said, you can beam to main engineering. You can make it a roll if you wish to potentially get momentum, but I would warn you it would be a difficulty of 3.
All right.
So it's your choice whether you want to.
I'm sorry.
So it's your choice if you want to do difficulty 3 or if you just want to beam over.
What if I just start beaming people off the ship?
You could do that.
Right.
Though what
I'm
I
just
would
worried
do,
they might be in the middle of something and I might be affecting that. So I want to get some. My thinking is Oberon would want to get some help, and figure out what the situation is before he just starts beaming people over.
Okay. I will let you do this because it occurs to me that you already put a runabout out to act as your communications array. I will allow you to do this. If you give me a daring engineering and the Versailles assists you with a communications engineering at a difficulty of 3 and you pass, I will say that you're able to raise someone within the Renee. And if you want technobabble, this is basically you bouncing a signal off of the runabout and hitting the Renee from 2 sides, and the increased comm traffic finally gets through to somebody's comm badge.
All right, let's try that. You said a difficulty of 3.
Difficulty of 3, correct.
Okay.
And it's a communications engineering?
Communications engineering from the starship, yep.
And I don't think I have any...
no help.
How
No hinders, no help.
about improvisation, since I'm setting up like an indirect...
Yeah.
Okay. And what momentum do we have?
You have 2
We
at
have
the
2
moment.
momentum.
2 momentum. I am going to spend another one's momentum to get another die.
Okay. Well, you just got 5 successes, so you get 2 momentum right back. Well done. So yeah, Oberon, you work your engineering magic and you get a comm traffic, and what you hear is a Vulcan woman by the sounds of it, and she says, "This is Lieutenant Commander Preya. Who's reaching me? Are you?" I'm unable to pinpoint where your signal's coming from, but I am hearing you if you can hear me.
This is Lieutenant Commander Oberon of Starbase 4337.
Ah,
We are currently in the assigned vessel, the Nova class Versailles. We are en route to your position, and we require your status so we can arrange to begin rescuing your crew.
well, it would only be logical to not state the obvious, so I will say what is most pressing. I have approximately 150 wounded aboard that are in need of immediate attention. We are doing our best to ensure that the secondary hull does not experience a warp core breach. However, if something is not done within the next 20 minutes, we are looking at a cascading failure which will lead to the destruction of the secondary hull.
If we tie, this is kind of what is your specialty, Lieutenant Commander?
My specialty is in the sciences. I am a botanist.
Very well.
However, I
So,
believe I am the only
so,
ranking officer that has survived whatever happened to us.
mm. so pause. I'm going to pause in game here for a second. Out of game, what does Oberon think about the possibility of tying the two transporter systems together for both ships and beaming people off of their transporter pads,
You can do
uh,
it.
including their cargo transporters, anything available? Could that be done in 15 minutes?
That could be done in 10 minutes. Could be done in 5 minutes. Could be done in 5 seconds if you happen to have O'Brien aboard.
Do we have
Hang
O'Brien
on.
aboard?
Let me just check my pockets here. No, sorry. No O'Brien aboard.
All right, well, it's going to take you a determinate amount of time depending on a roll. So, if you want to give me a very, very important daring engineering,
Let me ask you
and
another question
yes,
sorry to cut you off.
no, you're good.
Would it be faster for me to go over there and correct the problem? Or would it be faster to beam everyone off?
Faster to beam. Well, it depends on how much of a miracle worker you think you are.
Because we could use some of those ship systems
Mm-hmm.
to help repair the ship. Okay. I'm going to have her coordinate and start beaming people. We're going to start beaming people over, and I'm going to go over there and try to salvage that engineering. Try to stop that warp core breach.
Okay, so we will
Even
change
if
the
you just
task
have
to a
to,
different task.
even if you just have to eject the warp core,
Yeah,
you could save the rest of the ship. Having
that's
the warp
exactly
core,
what I was thinking.
having the warp core as a fourth reactor would also be useful, but
Okay, yeah,
that
I'm also thinking that. So, all right, I have a contingency plan, but thank you. That in my
sorry.
voice, little goblin head.
Go away, commanding officer. Go, shoot.
All right, well, Oberon, you give the order to begin beaming the wounded over to the Versailles while you yourself go over. And I'm assuming you want to be in main engineering?
Yeah,
Okay. So when you beam into main engineering, it's just classically like we see on TNG, except for the fact that, once again, you have stanchions that have fallen, there's beams that have fallen, you have exposed EPS conduits, there's sparks, there's mist, there's fog, you've got wounded on the floor that are slowly being beamed out, and the Lieutenant Commander, Preya, once again, the only Lieutenant Commander that you're seeing, she immediately comes up to you and says, "Ah, Oberon, welcome. As you can see, we have an issue with the ejector coils, or we would have already ejected the core. Everything is locked. We're not able to physically move the core from where it is. And as you look to the warp core, what you see is that instead of the steady thrum of red and blue, it has turned a nice mauve."
Okay,
No.
that's not great. All right. And is the passage, the tunnel, blocked, physically blocked in any way? If we need to eject the core?
Yeah, Lieutenant Commander Preya hands you a pad, and you see that basically there is a series of 2 decks that are right at the edge before it would get out of the ship that are currently blocked by emergency bulkheads.
Hmm. And what is causing the breach, or what is causing the overload?
Well, it's a wildcat destabilization of the primary deuterium injector, so if you can fix that, good news.
Okay, let's do a quick examination of the deuterium injectors and see what I can do.
All right, well, that's going to start with a reason engineering difficulty of 2.
Reason engineering difficulty 2. All right.
Well, you get another momentum. Well done. You're doing really well.
Yeah, well, that's better
So,
than
Touch
last
wood.
time.
This doesn't
Touch
bode
wood.
well for how
Touch
the
wood.
rest of us are going to roll.
right.
Sorry.
So, you have a few choices here, Oberon, and none of them are pretty. You could conceivably sever the deuterium injectors, and that would mean that this entire structure around the warp core would basically become inert, at least until you got industrial replicators working again. But that would fix the immediate problem. The other solution that occurs to you is that if you were to stop the flow of deuterium at all, that would also fix the problem, but it would involve you getting in an EV suit and going somewhere that is very hazardous, if you get my meaning.
Yeah. And that sounds like the better outcome.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of what your EV suit would even look like because you're a centauroid.
Yeah.
Just a
I
saddle.
I mean,
I
well, you tell me. Is that a special? Or would Starfleet take that into account?
oh, they would.
So
I'm trying to
I
wrangle
can
the
imagine
mental
it
image in
being
my
in
head
two
because
parts,
like
that you go into a storage area. You have the standard ones in boxes, then you have one in the standing thing. You basically slot your front half into it, and then go back into a second half and have to seal it around your like waist area. If you see what I mean?
yeah, I see what you mean. That makes
Kind
more
of.
sense to me than the image I had in my head. So we'll go with
So
that.
it's not as secure as normal EV suits because you have to have like this big, huge like sealing area around your back legs. So your front back, the back of your front legs, which would be just below your human stomach half, if that makes sense visually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of. Well, look. I'm not the game master. I kind of think Starfleet would have variable, adjustable environmental suits to
They do.
fit a
They do.
number of different body types.
It's just the physical image that I'm trying to figure out in my head. That's all. They definitely have EV suits
Mhm.
for you. It's just weird in my head. Anyway, point is,
Okay.
yes, you have an EV suit.
All right.
Now comes the real challenge for you, Oberon. You have to do your work in time before you suffer too much stress. And if you suffer too much stress, we might need a new chief engineer.
Maybe.
Please don't get rid of my chief engineer. I only have one of those.
So, no pressure, but here's
It's
what
okay,
you're
there's a
looking at.
botanist.
You're looking at a daring engineering at a difficulty of 5. Now,
Okay.
unfortunately, Shoshiro in command, the trait we established last time, does not apply here because you are in command right now. So you're looking at a difficulty of 5. The good news is that since this is a new session, I'm going to give everyone your determination back.
Okay. Fantastic.
But you
I
have
am
4
just doing that.
momentum, and you have your determination, and I have 13 threat.
You didn't have to notice that part, did you, ELH?
So
Going to
poor Q.
spend 2 threat to make your complication range 18 to 20.
All right.
Eh.
That's fair. Um, I'm just looking at my all right, obviously I'm spending determination here because this is pretty
Make sure you note the value you're using for advancement purposes.
right. Yeah. Success is built on, well, yeah. Well, gosh, I hate to default to this one, but it seems the most appropriate. Actually, I'm going to say success is built on patience and perseverance.
Definitely a lot of persevering going on right now.
Yeah. All right. And
I think
I
you're going to
have
need a
4
new value
momentum.
who dare wins.
Yeah. All right. Using determination. And could I make a case that, well, I'm not determining the source of a,
Nope,
no.
you are
Well, you're
fixing the
really,
problem. You already know
yeah.
you've already determined the problem.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to spend all that momentum.
Okay, so it would be 3 momentum for 4 dice total.
All right. Here's hoping. And I don't suppose the ship could help. Well, yeah.
Can a ship help?
No, the ship cannot help on this.
Okay.
There.
What if I was using like engineering tools? Like an engineering kit? Would that help?
It
I mean,
would. It
in
would make
a
your
engineering
complication
vein as
range
chief
a
engineer.
19 to 20 instead of 18 to 20.
Okay.
Hey,
Hey, I'll take
that
what I
any
can
help?
get.
Any help?
Okay, so you have a choice here that you can
Hmm.
succeed with a complication.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So, Oberon, you basically go physically into the deuterium tank to seal off the manual bypass that will seal off the deuterium from flowing into the core. However, there's a problem. And as you are literally using a winch to close the deuterium tank, what you notice is that one of the seals on your EV suits is faulty. And by the time you manage to seal the deuterium tank, save the day, yay. The problem is that you now have deuterium flowing into your suit. Now, you're still able to breathe, but I need you to take 4 stress damage for me, please.
I could do that. Do I go from the right to the left or the left to the right?
Whatever way is easiest for you.
Oh, no, definitely right to left. Okay.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I would like to ask if my Ariolo trait could apply here in terms of my endurance and strength.
That's why I only gave you 4.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm stressed. I'm hurt, but we have hopefully this has helped.
Yeah. Well, the good news is when you come out still burning from the deuterium, you quickly get hosed off and you quickly get back into a safe state. But Lieutenant Commander Preya says, "Well done, Lieutenant Commander Oberon. You have stabilized the situation. We now just need to make sure that we get the wounded back to the starbase." Jump cut back to the starbase. Techno. Kiani is
Hello.
where?
That is an excellent question. I believe they were going down to main engineering, I think. But I think I think that was the intended destination. Whether they get there or whether anything else comes up that they need to go and deal with.
I mean, from what I remember, you succeeded at a very high medical roll, which means most of the patients are out of the woods.
Yes, so
That's
lots of surgery happened. So in fact, actually, that's probably more likely where she'd be now. I imagine is back in the main sick bay and probably still helping with like triage and certainly less minor but no less serious medical stuff.
All right. Well, the good news is that you are really set up to succeed here in medical because you already have Soshiro in command at a 2. That lowers it to difficulty or lowers difficulty by 2. You have an advanced medical ward, which you already count as a sick bay, but it counts twice. So you, for example, you take a difficulty of 5, lower it down to a 1.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
He says, eyeing the amount of threat that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what that means is you're thinking, oh, I've stabilized most everyone. But then all of a sudden you hear a commotion at the door of the medical bay, and
Mm-hmm.
in comes our first true non-Starfleet crew. And coming in is a female Klingon, and behind her is a bunch of very much wounded Klingons that are being either supported by batleths or crutches or some makeshift thing. But they come into your medical ward, dripping their blood everywhere. And the female Klingon says, I am Klar, daughter of Kov. Which one of you is the doctor?
We are. I am. Hello, I am the doctor. Yes.
Good. You will fix
Clara,
my
was it?
crew and tell me what happened to cause all of this damage.
Well, I can do one of those things and not the other. And we will deal with them in order. And she's already running a medical tricorder over Clara and over the rest of them to determine which of them needs dealing with soonest and quickest.
Okay.
Which would be which of them?
So that would be a reason medicine. And
Reason.
that normally, like I said, since it was a difficulty of 4, or no, Klingons are difficulty of 3?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Klingons are difficulty of 3. So technically you're at a difficulty of 0 thanks to all the traits in play.
Wonderful. I do also have a focus in xenobiology
Would also
and
apply.
emergency medicine.
Yeah.
Medicine.
Medicine.
Sorry, I slipped into Sean Connery.
That was one of your previous hosts.
It is now. That's canon now. One of your previous
Yeah.
hosts is Connery.
Sure. Sorry, run that by me.
So it's
I'm
a
rolling a
difficulty,
difficulty
of 0
of-
reason medicine.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm just going to roll as is then with my focus. So
Sure you don't want to
here
spend
we-
momentum to get momentum? Okay, 3 momentum. That
We
works.
don't need that, ELH.
Stop tempting me.
All right.
No, that's that. That's fine.
So, bit of good news, bad news, because it's me. Good news, Klar's fine. Most of the Klingons are fine. But that one Klingon who's standing up and looking stoic in the back, oh, he's not fine. He is not fine at all. Internal hemorrhaging. His secondary ribs have come crunched in on his secondary heart. He's probably going to drop dead unless you fix him right away.
How are you standing?
I am Klingon. You would not understand.
I understand what this is telling me, and this is telling me that you get on that biobed right now, sir. And you, Clara, go over there and see my head nurse with the rest of your crew. They will be treated over there. This one needs surgery immediately, or they will be heading to Stovacor. Yes.
What is your name?
Or the other
Doctor?
one. I don't know. What? Galen. No, Kiani.
Galen
Kiani,
Kiani,
oh.
welcome.
Yes, sure. Okay, that way. And she's already moving away and heading for the sterilization field and pulling on the silly red cap that seems to be the need for surgery.
All right.
Yeah, and just going to get this Klingon on the table and just do whatever it takes to knock them out. Probably won't take much at this point, I imagine. And then just, biobed clam closes and just start doing surgery on him, basically.
I have
I can
11.
just imagine
threat.
this Klingon, you knock him out and he just starts sleep fighting you because he is that level of Klingon.
Well,
Yeah, so stasis field on.
here's the problem. I have 11 threat.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to spend 2 of it to say that your knockout of the Klingon does not work, which means you have to operate on him while he's conscious.
Right, okay. I didn't get your name. It's not really important, but warrior, and just sort of pokes his head a bit.
My
Are you
name?
conscious? Yes.
And he kind of looks at you quizzically and says, I don't remember my name.
Not a great start. Okay. Can you regale me? And she's already making steps to begin incising and that kind of thing. But can you tell me about some of your most valiant victories?
I can't remember those either.
Also not good. You know what? Here, take this. And she just grabs the hyper spray that she was using to try and sedate him and just puts it between his teeth. Just goes, bite down on that because this is really going to hurt.
All right, well, Galen Kiani, as you're now known by Clar. I need you to give me a daring and medicine. After accounting for all the traits and the fact that it's a Klingon you're operating on, I believe the total difficulty is a 1 here. Again, you're really, really fortunate to have an advanced medical ward here.
Yeah, definitely so.
And you will continue to be thankful as I dump 151 wounded Starfleet officers on you.
Yeah, that's the remaining threat, probably. Okay, yep. So we are going to do what we can with this fella. So that is perform task. I'm going to use 2 of those momentum, if you don't mind, because I don't trust my dice rolling.
So it's 1 momentum for 1 die. It's 3 momentum for 4 die.
Yes. So that should take us down to 2. Yes.
If you want to roll 4, yes.
Do I want to roll 4? I'm just going to roll 3. I'm going to use my focus of surgery. Okay. So yeah, just the 1 momentum spend then. Yeah. Okay, let's see what happens.
There's a
don't like that. Yeah.
Well, you can re-roll. Don't you have cautious medicine?
I don't actually.
Oh.
I'm just wondering what I do have.
Hope and a prayer.
Literally, I think at this point. When I succeed, no.
I mean, you can still succeed with a complication here, literally.
Yeah, I'm fine with a complication as long as it doesn't kill him.
No, I won't kill him. I'll promise that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So what ends up happening is you start operating, and he's losing blood. You know, I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty, but he's losing blood pretty quickly. You know, his
everywhere.
Yeah, his eyes are fluttering. He's starting to go into shock. But you manage to stabilize the internal bleeding. You get him sutured back up. And when you run a tricorder over him, you realize that the retrograde amnesia that he was already experiencing is now, I don't want to say permanent, but it's definitely, you are dealing with a blank Klingon. So to use an example, do you remember the one episode of DS9 where Worf's brother, was it Kor? No. What was Worf's brother's name?
Kern. Yeah.
Kern. No, Kern was somebody else, wasn't it?
Hey, Worf's brother.
Anyway, Worf's brother, you know, goes under a surgery and his memories are wiped and, you know, he's no longer the son of Mo kind of a thing. It was Kern. Okay. I'm just misremembering my Klingons.
Easy to do. You are not Klingon, so you wouldn't understand.
I wouldn't understand, yeah. But the point is that it is possible to erase memories. It is not possible to restore memories once they are gone forever.
And to be quite honest, not high on my list of priorities at the moment, even if I could. So I think it is very much a case of stitching this guy up with some kind of laser suture, and just clicking her fingers at a nearby Klingon that looks like they're not going to sort of, you know, keel over and die at any particular moment. You, come here.
Okay, I am here.
Good. What was your name?
My name is Valv.
Valv. Who is this guy?
I do not recognize him. He was a standard Beck.
Great. Well, he doesn't know who he is either, so now that's your problem. And get him off my bio bed and take him back to your diplomatic suite. I need this bio bed clear,
The
and you are in
IKS
charge
cot
of
is currently inoperable. We took damage from whatever hit the station.
I don't care where you go, just not here.
Very well. I will take him to Stovacor as she starts pulling out a knife.
He's fine. Doesn't need to go anywhere other than off my bio bed and physically move somewhere else.
Oh, I misunderstood. She puts the dagger back away.
Yes, you did. Yes, it's fine. You're not sure. You wouldn't understand. Nah.
Meanwhile, up in secondary ops, we have Soshiro.
Yeah.
Soshiro everything is just wrong.
Red.
Everything is broken. You're getting reports from across the starbase. People are literally running, like physically running through the starbase to get you reports at this point.
All right.
And
So
I'm gonna start throwing names at you.
okay.
So I already put it in chat, but I'll put it in again. You have the IKS Kot, captained by Klar, daughter of Kov.
Hmm.
That is your Klingon bird of prey that survived the yeetening. You also are understanding that the OSV Malor, captained by Hamar, that is the Orion Syndicate vessel that was docked at your station. And, or maybe it should be Orion Space Vessel rather than Syndicate Vessel. But
I was going to say we had a criminal ship just
just
brazenly
chilling,
sitting in our dock.
just
Yeah.
chilling. No, it's not Syndicate. That's a mistake on my part. But you do have a Orion vessel that is mostly intact. Hamar has reported that they experienced minor casualties, but overall they are able to handle it themselves. They just are needing to repair their engines before going anywhere. Other than that, any other ship that was docked with you, you don't know where they are. Either they're not in the docking stanchion, or you're just not seeing them on the runabout or the Versailles sensors.
All right. So first things off, I'm going to pull rank but in another sort. Since I am an Orion noble, I'm going to command Ahmad to since as he said himself, the only thing broken on his ship is his engines. His crew is now enlisted to help the stations repair, and if he argues that, he is going to have to argue with the Lady of the Dawn of Spring, and I will come down and beat him up.
Well, I have good news for you. You are a female Orion, and that means you have seniority in your society among Orions. So, yeah, he'll do what you want, but in the sake of getting you perhaps some momentum, if you could give me
Hmm.
a presence command at a difficulty of 0.
All right, person's command and diplomacy, the
Yeah,
forceful alliance
diplomacy will
kind.
work here. 2
Two
successes, making
successes.
you are capped at 6 momentum. Well done. So, Hamar's like, of course, my lady, we will cease repairs on our ship and we will come help your crew assist with the starbase, though my view of the exterior of the starbase is not good. You have significant damage to the secondary and tertiary and quaternary hulls.
Well, just start with the area that start with these areas and get on with it.
Very good. And then as you cut off comms with him, an ensign runs up to you and goes, ma'am, we're getting
Yes,
some
Winston.
weird readings from the runabout. You might want to look at this.
I take a look.
And the runabout, again, nobody's been able, even the Versailles with its advanced sensors, nobody's been able to really figure out why none of the stars are right and why you can't get an astrometric reading on anything. So that's already unusual. But what you are seeing on long range sensors of the Versailles and of the runabout is that there are warp signatures headed in your direction.
Fantastic. We've probably been whatever hit has probably knocked us into the next star grid. Right. Warp signatures. So do I have comms working? I
Nope,
just pull
comms
out
are still
citizen.
out, ma'am.
Um, right. I'm gonna need comms working. Shields and weapons are still working, aren't they, ELH? Because
Yes,
well,
I just
working
forgot to
as
mention it on your sheet. You have currently 10 shields. Congratulations.
congratulations. All right. I need somebody to get one communication array online now. I want to know who's coming over to say hi to us.
All right. So, Shiro, presence. Presence command. Yeah, presence command.
Okay. Team Dynamics.
Difficulty of 3.
Team Dynamics is an appropriate thingamabob.
Oh, yeah.
I am going to spend a threat and 2 momentum to roll 4 dice.
Okay. And I just got 2 more threat. Thank you, chat.
Would you like to increase my complication range
No, you're fine.
with with that threat you just got?
No, I'm saving the threat for something special.
All right. Okay. Cool. So difficulty of 3, right?
Yep. You may succeed with a complication.
So, I have a advantage in the form of pheromones. What gender are the ensigns around me at the moment?
Mostly men, yes.
Mostly men. Would I be able to do anything with two momentum? If I would be able to use a two momentum off my pheromones or two momentum off our pool, would I be able to cancel? Oh no, it's just one complication, isn't it? I thought there was two complications for some reason. My brain's not working.
Well, what you could do is
Um,
if you want to activate your pheromone trait, that would already count as your lowering of difficulty. And I'm not going to
mhm.
again get into the nitty gritty details, but if you activate it, let's just say some of the ensigns and lieutenant junior grades and the crewmen, they're just going to have some weird feelings for you for a little bit.
Don't care. That's something I have to deal with later.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll use that so I don't have to deal with a complication right now.
All right. So you get a few weird looks. You get a few looks of just like starstruck like teenagers, like, oh, she has boobs, and you
Why do
know
they
the
have to have the
kind.
green ones just out of academy?
Yeah, it's like, oh,
No,
she's
no, no, you're the
Orion
green one.
and she's pretty.
Communication array, snap, snap, snap.
Right? Yes. Right. Of course. Yes. Sorry, ma'am. You're pretty, ma'am. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. Sorry. I'm apologizing. Oh, I did it again. I'm sorry. And then just some old grizzled vet just comes up and slaps the ensign and goes, "Get it together, man. She's just an Orion. They do that sometimes." They do? Can she do it again? Slap again. Get it together. Get that communication array online.
Him, I like him. What rank is that guy? I need that as a side character now.
Let's give him a name. His name, well, he's a senior chief.
And
And
I'm gonna say now he's immune to the pheromones, just straight up. That's like his one thing as a side character.
let me see. What do we want to call this guy? Let's call him. No, can't use Jefferson. I use Jefferson for everything. Let's call him Senior Chief Watherly. Waterby. Waterby. I like Waterby.
Okay.
Waterby, he's human. He, him, and I'll put it in chat here in a second. He, him. He is. What do we want to make him Senior Chief of? We'll just call him a Senior Chief and we can just use him
Yeah.
as needed. But there's Senior Chief Waterby.
Let's make him security because he's been on the force for too long and he was like one day
Security.
from
All right.
retirement.
He was one day from retirement before the
I
station
was
put him in
one day
Yeah.
from
jail.
retirement. Get it together, man. Slap.
He's been on the beat too long, you know. He's seen what these streets are like, that sort of guy.
He's a rogue. He's a rogue security officer, but by God, does he get his job done. All right. So, as that is happening, we're going to bounce back to the Versailles and Oberon over on the Renee. And Oberon, you get a call from the Versailles and says, sir, we have already told the station, but we're seeing warp signatures coming in our direction. Would we like to hail them? Question mark.
Yes, beam me back.
Very good. Moments later, you're back on the bridge of the Versailles.
What information do we have on the warp signatures?
Very little, sir. We are unable to determine the signature, at least comparing it to the databanks we possess. We thought it might have been a problem with the sensors, but the. Oh, well, that's strange. And they sort of blink and say, sorry, sir. The warp signatures seem to have cloaked.
Have we heard from Starfleet Command?
We have not heard anything, sir.
Go to Yellow Alert.
Yellow alert.
Try to bring up Commander Sashiro.
And because you have a runabout and the Versailles in the area, you reach Commander Shishiro, or Lieutenant Commander Shishiro.
Versailles to Ops. Commander Shiro, please respond.
Commander Shiro here. What's the progress of your rescue mission?
Oh, that's a good question. Sorry, out of game. Have we beamed everyone aboard?
You are basically an intermediary where you beam them aboard the Versailles and then you beam them into Kiani's medical way. So, what I'm imagining what's happening with Kiani is she gets one person off the biobad and then another one beams in and she gets them off the
She,
biobad and then they beam
she
in. And
literally,
it's just a comedy of errors.
it
Okay.
absolutely is a case where she goes to sit down. She's just like, ah, pew, ah, back up and it's working again.
All right. We have several cloaked signals incoming.
Yes, I had a report. Cloaked. Okay. Are you able to patch me on a long range communication? At least we can say hi to whoever's coming over. Hopefully they're Romulans. At least we know who we're dealing with.
I'll try that. Uh, hell the signatures. You're on.
This is the Federation Starbase 4337. Unidentified cloak vessels on an inbound course. Please identify yourselves.
You get a reply. And what this means is Ops and the Bridge of the Versailles are filled with a screech that is loud, duh, but also very alien in the fact that it's not like, oh, they're speaking a language or oh, they're singing a song. This is more of a feral cry, if you will, where if there is intelligence there, it doesn't have good intentions.
Somebody turn that down. As I presume it's just like screeching at me. Do I see anything on the main screen, or is it just visual audio?
Well, at this point, you would have perhaps one way to use your tachyon detection field, but it's going to require a roll, and it will be a very difficult roll. This is going to be
Okay.
a sensors and security for the Starbase. So, Shiro, you're going to be doing a reason and security. This is a difficulty of 4.
All
I'll
right.
take it, Starbase.
Can I use team dynamics as I'm shouting at the operations crew to get them to adjust the sensors, to get anything online, working with the bridge crew rather than doing it just myself?
I'll allow it.
All right, so I need to get 3 by the looks of it.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to do the exact same thing I did beforehand, which is give you 1 threat and spend 2 momentum to get 4 dice.
Okay.
And roll 3
There's your
successes.
4. So Shiro, thanks to your tachyon detection field on the Starbase, and it's still kind of wonky, so it like flits in and out, but what you see are not ships, but some kind of xenofauna, some kind of mega xenofauna. And this isn't a nice space whale that you're looking at. You're looking at something more that's a combination between a classical space kraken and almost like a lobster. So imagine, you've got your kraken with lobster claws on it, but not just one set of lobster claws. We're talking like 4 or 5 sets. So, standard Eldritch horror.
Okay, so I'm going to have a look at that and notice that it's not a spaceship, but rather space fauna. And go, Oberon, I need you to adjust the communication array on the Versailles and pitch something equivalent to them, but make it sound low and big. Something like a great whale or something to try and intimidate these things from getting at us.
Yes, we can do that. I am thinking about a time when we were studying Gormengander many years ago during my second 10-year deep space mission. They emit something similar, but we can increase the amplitude. We will work
I
on that,
can
Commander.
I can see if I got a log of that creature's sound patterns in the databases.
Hmm.
You do.
Okay. Well, I think the plan is just to transmit on a wide frequency band in their direction, a sort of like primal whale call or something like that, just to make it go, I am big, you don't want to mess with me, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. All right, Oberon. Once again, we're just dumping on Oberon all the hard tasks today.
Well, yeah, delegation.
Oberon. This is going to be a presence and command for you. No, presence engineering. I think presence engineering works better. Presence engineering. The Versailles will assist you with a communications command. The difficulty. Difficulty of
Does
5 after I spend some threat.
the Shishiran command count? Because we're in communication now?
That's what I'm spending the threat for.
Okay.
Just trying to think if there's anything else. No. So difficulty of 5, assisted communications command, presence engineering. Let's make it a little more interesting. I'll spend another 2 threat to make it an 18 to 20 complication range.
Is that for
Okay.
the ship as well?
Yep, applies to the ship as well.
So that
And
should be 2 or 3 in the complication range.
3. All
One
right, well,
success
there's
from the ship.
one.
all right, I have all in due time as a talent,
Mm-hmm.
a species talent, which means my character may reduce the difficulty of a task they attempt using presence or control by 1.
Lowers it to a 4.
All right. All right, and I have too many. Oh, so we have 4 momentum. So I'd like to get to spend 2 momentum.
So it's 1 momentum for the 3rd die, 3 momentum total for the 4th die, 6 momentum for the 5 dice total.
Okay, let's spend the 4 then to get 4 die.
All right, all with momentum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
All right. Because I don't have any determination left. I know you can give me your determination, but let's save it in case this doesn't work.
Oberon, once again, just dominating these rolls. That is 6 successes, meaning you get 2 momentum back. So, Oberon, you use your experience with space whales, the Gormagander, and you send out the equivalent of a predatorial screech back to the creatures. And what the station immediately recognizes, because the station's the one with the tachyon detection field, the creatures stop, they turn around, and they leave. So you are detecting that the warp signatures are now heading away from the station.
Looks like it worked, Commander. Remind me, when all this is said and done, if Starfleet has not responded to our distress call yet, to set up something, a beacon, to permanently put out that signal on a random basis.
Will do. And good job, Lieutenant Commander Oberon, both on the rescue mission and to getting those things away from us. Are you able to come back to the station?
I was hoping you would ask me for that.
All right.
I never leave the station.
And hand over command to one of the random ensigns and come back over.
We have a botanist on board, a Vulcan from the Renee. I believe she would be sufficient for temporary command of this vessel.
Thank goodness, some superiority. Yes, please put her in the command of the Versailles and see if she can help with the repairs around the station on from the outside.
Yes, I recommend putting her in charge of life support, since she may have a knowledge base that would help with that.
Excellent.
Very good. We are returning. Oberon out.
Now, Oberon, real quick, because this is a wonderful 2nd edition thing, instead of waiting to make the buoy later, you could just spend 2 momentum right now to make it a trade.
Since trades stick around multiple sessions, I think like even though technically you're not doing it right away.
We have a lot to do.
All right.
So that momentum might be better used elsewhere. I think Oberon would be anxious to get back. I think everyone is in triage mode right now. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
just failing forward into the next thing, into the next thing, into
Hmm.
the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where Oberon would be right now.
Okay. So, what we're going to do is we're going to skip ahead, say 3 or 4 hours. All of you are running ragged. All of you are more or less at this point mandated to take a break, even you, Doctor. And because it's funny, you're in one of the surviving canteens, and you're just sort of seated around a table with the three of you, and you've got what appears to be emergency rations just on a tray in front of you. It's not very pretty, but you also have cups of Ractogino, so that you got that going for you.
So I feel like also Shishiro has like data pads next to her meal with like layouts of the ship and layout of the space chart, trying to, even though she is not overly skilled in astronavigation, just trying to figure out where the hell we are
Mm-hmm.
in comparison to where we were.
What is your con score?
My con score is 3, I believe. Yes, it's a con score 3.
Why don't you give me a reason and con at a difficulty of 4?
Ooh, boy. Um, I think I'm going to buy 2 mother dice. So I've got 4 dice in total, so I'm spending all the momentum.
Okay.
And I'm going to use my value. Chaos is a natural state of being
Mm-hmm.
because I am feeling quite chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, things are quite chaotic.
Survey says.
Sorry, I'm typing the to make sure I'm doing the thing. I'm doing that
Oh,
first.
the advancement. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, the advancement, and then that, and that. Roll dice. I gain back 2 momentum.
Yeah. So I have just bad news. Um, you're not in the Milky Way anymore. You are in, again, if these sensor readings are correct, you are in the neighboring galaxy, Seg 1.
So Shishiro will be like half eating a ration sandwich, and then from because at the moment she's keeping this like general state of composure because she's the commanding officer to keep this air of calm. That just gets thrown out the window for a moment as she just leans and looks at the data pad and then quickly looks around her to make sure there's like nobody else looking over at us, or if there's anybody else in the thing, or if like we're the only people in the cafe at the moment.
Let's just say it's just the three of you.
So, Oberon, tell. I have some bad news and some even worse bad news.
Kiani is just sort of sitting in one of the chairs, her feet up on the table, and she's pouring what looks to be some sort of hip flask into her Rectogino.
You probably want to make that a double.
I think I'm on about 8 at the moment in terms of actual amount here.
Um,
And she just keeps pouring.
well, first off, distress
I
call
don't
to
even know
the.
what this is. No, wait, I do. No, it's fine. Sorry. I'm getting confused again. What?
Well, first off, our distress call to Starfleet Command is probably never going to get there, which is the bad news. Worst news is that we're no longer in the Milky Way galaxy.
Then where are we?
If the readings and my calculations correct, we are in Seg 1.
Uh, my stellar cartography was never great. Um,
It's
what
a
was
satellite galaxy circling around the Milky Way. It is, I will say, how many light years it is away from the Federation.
Long enough that
I mean,
Janeway would have to blow up the space time continuum at least twice to get back.
I mean,
yes.
that's just a Tuesday for her, though.
Mm.
I think Kiani is just going to sort of put down her mug of what was originally Ractigino and now probably 9/8, whatever it was she was pouring in. And I think she's just going to drink straight from the flask. Um, okay, one, that is horrible. Who would drink this aside from me, apparently? Um, she sort of puts it back on the table. Sorry, so we how?
Whatever hit us with such speed and velocity that it propelled us into another galaxy.
Okay, so I mean that's bad. Can we get? Was it like a wormhole? Was it some sort of subspace rupture or
This is the sensor scans that we had or were able to pull from secondary ops. Some
and
sort of
she's going to just take them and look at them. Just
ribbon iron storm hit us. It's
I
never
don't
been
know what
recorded.
any of this means. I don't know anything about sort of space science. I'm a
I
doctor,
am
not an
not.
astrophysicist.
I don't believe we will be able to determine or analyze this until we get the main computer back online.
And even if we could analyze it, the likelihood that it's coming around for a second pass just to rush us back home is unlikely.
So where are we?
We are
Specifically, I mean, like, are we just in the void of space? Are we in orbit
well,
of a planet? Are we?
as far as I can tell, we're in orbit of a planet because that's what the intro shows us as. We're in orbit around a planet. It looks like it was once an M-class planet. It is looks like whatever society was on there fell. The simple star system with seven other planets. But of course, it's not on any records that we know, and it doesn't seem to have any, besides for the local wildlife, doesn't seem to have any mass amount of warp travel to it. So we seem to be in what is quickly called the back of end of nowhere.
Oh,
Or we allow ourselves to experience long-term anxiety over this, I suggest that we table any worry and schedule it for a later time. We have many more short-term priorities that require our immediate attention.
Well, we're going to have to address the crew at some point, and also the other ships which have stayed with us. We at least have the Klingons and Orions that um, came with us because they were docked at the station. We even had a have even had a full inventory of what the docks are like yet. They're going to want to know what happened and why them, and their people were at least wounded. If not, then find out where we are.
um, I'm also going to need more supplies from somewhere. I don't know if we have this in cargo bays. I don't know if those cargo bays survive, but we are running incredibly low on dermaline gel, Kelatane, and anesphacine, like all kinds of medical supplies, basically. I mean,
Well,
the Kelatane and the dermaline, for example, I've treated so many burns today. Um, we can do
if
only
you can
so
make me a
much with.
list of that and we can just look to see where we can get it from. At least part of the Renee was intact, so hopefully their secondary hull med bay has some supplies. Maybe their cargo hull has some supplies. But
I mean, I hope so because obviously their primary sick bay is in the saucer section, and who knows where that is, right? So
ELH, did we have the enough debris to justify that the Renee's primary sources action is completely destroyed, or not in the immediate area?
The game master is being silent.
Okay, cool. Um, well, we don't know where the sources section of the Renee is. Hopefully, we'll be able to find it, or even better for them, they're still in the Alpha Quadrant.
Hopefully.
mm,
I would like to point out that the Nova class vessel excels at planetary surveys. I believe it would be prudent if we had the Versailles begin deep scans of this system and provide us as much information as possible, not just on the system, but anything else that was pulled along with it that we have yet to
Hmm.
have discovered.
We'll need to pull a crew together to suit that. We would need to. I just pull out a third pad and just start look at available crew roster and just start muttering to myself.
Mm.
if
The
it helps at all,
remaining,
sorry, Lieutenant
please,
Commander, go
Dr.
ahead.
Tell. Thank you, Lieutenant. Thank you, Dr. Tell. Is it Dr. Tell?
Maybe, sure. At the moment, Doctor Tell is yes, that works across all
He
other
shoots you a
considerations.
momentary look of concern. Yeah. The
I
Renee crew has been eager to help and have stepped in true Starfleet fashion. Uh, I believe they will become very valuable, as well as the Orions, although they do seem distracted. I am not sure what happened to them.
Well, I mean, speaking purely from a psychological point of view, I imagine the death of half of their crew and being thrown across, let's just
I
hypothetically call it 100,000 light years, probably hasn't been great for them. I don't know if we have a counselor on board. I don't
We didn't
remember.
have a council on board before not anybody of a seniority. We had some of their support staff in ready to set up their office. However, they were coming in
Right. They were coming
to
back in
relieve.
with the Okuda. Yeah. Um,
About the Orions, I gave them an order not as a Starfleet officer, but as a lady. So if they're acting weirdly, they're trying to impress me. It is a bit unusual, but that is just the culture, to put it
Very
back,
well,
lack of a better word.
very well. And the Klingon engineering crew has been surprisingly effective.
Well, they used to, from what I can tell, they're used to things falling apart. So
I believe we will be able to pull together. And he coughs at this point, and like a little bit of particles like come out of his
I feel like immediately there's a
breath.
tricorder out and a thingy, and I'm scanning.
Oh,
Um,
I can
oh,
tell you what is wrong.
I
I
can
took in
tell you
some
what is wrong.
deuterium
Yes, you did. Why aren't you in my sick bay?
because there is more work to be done, and
That isn't how this works.
you
And
I
she's
am
already
still
going to like
confident.
the cafe replicator and tapping in command codes to like replicate some
So,
sort of analgesic or something that help reduce the inflammation in his lungs.
All right.
thank you, Dr. Tell, but I believe you require rest.
No,
believe all
that's not
three
how
of
that
us
works.
require
Shut
it.
up. And just presses the thing to his neck and hisses it in.
I believe all.
That
I
is helpful.
uh, I'm sure it will be once it kicks in. You are going to go once we're done here. I think this takes breath at the moment. You're not in immediate danger. Once you are able, and keep in mind, I will be the determinator of at what point that particular euphemism expires. You will be in my sick bay and under treatment, and I won't broke any kind of um, um, God, words are hard.
You're
Shut up
doing,
and go to my sick bay.
I'm
I
spending that two
understand,
thread I
Doctor.
just got. I am going to raise the joining confusion from 1 to 2.
Oh,
That's fair.
wonderful.
Yeah, that's fair.
We will get through this. I have lived
Yes,
long enough to
especially
know
if people
that
go to
we will
sick
get through
bay
it.
when they're sick. That's how people live through things. They get better.
Doctor, There are some things out of our control. All we can do is the best we can.
Sure, but you know the way to. I'm not going to argue with
Right.
this. This is a medical order. You will go to sickbay when you will go to sickbay. And she puts her hands on her
I
hips
will
and just
go.
sort of nods.
I will go to sick bay once I believe that the
Mm-mm.
station is at minimum operating capacity.
My God, you're just like Teelan. If you don't come to sickbay, then I will come to you. Either way, you're going to get treated.
I do not wish to cause you any additional stress. I
Oh
will
my
come to
God,
sick
do you
bay.
have to get the last word in every time? No.
Lieutenant Commander Oberon,
Yes,
as the commanding
Commander.
officer, I will take over engineering. You will go to medbay to have a full write-up, and the doctor will see if you are medically fit to carry on. I can't have my only senior and chief engineer fall ill on me because they refuse to have medical treatment.
I mean, I feel
I
like
do
my
not wish to
position
cause
as
any
CMO should
additional
have just allowed that to happen,
discontinuity.
but sure.
I do not wish to cause any additional argument. I will do that. I was simply arguing that I am at currently about 60% health capacity.
Well, that's
And that
40%
is,
below where you should be, or however maths works. Shut up. I'm not a mathematician.
well, I believe it is analogous to the situation with the Starbase. The Starbase is operating at below capacity. We have something in common, but we are still working. I designed her to be like that. It. I'm not going down that human her thing. Um, I designed it to function under very stressful situations. And
And
I
that is
function
The,
under very stressful situations too.
the Starbase is a thing. You are not.
and you are to be commended for your work today, but I believe we don't want to agitate your symptoms. And if my doctor is saying that you need to have medical treatment, then you need medical treatment.
And she's just going to take a tricorder and just run it over him again if he starts coughing.
I
I will
will
give you a
follow your
stimulant.
orders.
I will give you a stimulant. It will keep you on your feet for the next 2 hours, at least, or at least operating at something closer to better than 60% anyway. And then after that wears off, that's your call in time. I will call you into my office at that point. 2 hours,
Please, ex-
Lieutenant Commander.
please expect me in the medical ward in 2 hours. Then
Thank you.
I'm spending 6 threat to create the reversal that there's a
Uh-oh.
chime at the door, because again, you're just kind of having a somewhat private senior staff meeting, but there's a chime at your door.
Enter.
In comes Senior Chief Waterby. He doesn't look all that thrilled, and he's holding a pad, and he holds it out to you, Soshiro, and says, "Ma'am, Oberon, Tell, I thought you might want to know that we've discovered, well, I don't know what to really to call it other than some experimental systems that weren't exactly part of." And I think Waterby looks at Oberon. "You designed this station, right?"
I did.
"Well, do you mind telling me why there's EPS conduits going to places that shouldn't have any devices at all?"
If they somehow drew the space anomaly to the station, I'm going to have an aneurysm as I look over the data pad.
I think
Well,
it's these
Allow,
same EPS conduits that Robertson was. He kept on going on about that to me. I mean, to Keelan.
yes, I
Um,
didn't have a chance to tell him that, design considerations are beyond just the immediate. Sometimes you need to prepare for retrofits and upgrades, such as the dual environment systems that are being installed on more ships. However, I am not familiar with these particular EPS conduits. Curious.
well, no roll required because you're three looking at it together. Yeah, there's EPS conduits with enough power and force behind them that they could power Starbase weaponry, not Starship weaponry, Starbase weaponry. And if that wasn't enough, You're also seeing that while it is not turned on, there is somehow an entire secondary computer core that is intact and available to be turned on.
I look at these and then I look at the space station's data terminals I have access to and just cautiously put my rank and clearance code in to see if there's any like secure security packages there telling me about these unusual systems.
So, for just a moment, as part of the reversal spend, for just a moment, you get a flash of a clearance denied message. And then any future attempts to bring up whatever this system is just met with an access denied. Doesn't tell you anything further, just says access denied.
So, from what I can tell, only the Commodore seemed to know this and maybe Robinson.
Certainly,
Well,
Robertson was concerned about it.
well, we need to go check out the secondary computer core if you guys have no immediate issues besides the already apparent.
I mean, my medical ward is overflowing. I should probably get back to it, unless you particularly need me to go. I mean, I'm not
No?
a computer
Well,
science nerd. I'm a doctor.
at the moment, you are my command staff. So that's the only reason I was asking you to go. But if, Doctor, you believe you need it back in the ward, I will not force you.
I mean, Commander, you
We're gonna
tell
have.
me. I mean, I, you don't have a science officer. You don't have an operations chief. You don't have a lot of things at the moment. So, like, I think I'm best served going back to sickbay and making sure that everything is ticking over correctly. But if you need someone with at least some science background, I guess I could go. I mean, when I was when I was on the Songhua, I was the science officer. I'm Fallon, my one of my previous hosts, four or five back maybe, was a science officer.
Okay,
So maybe that will help.
Cal, focus on me a sec. I
Yes,
need you down there for two reasons. I don't have a
down
science
there.
officer down at the secondary computer core
Right.
because
Okay.
I don't have a science officer, and I
Everywhere's
need to
down to the core.
make sure my chief engineer doesn't fall over. Are you able to do that?
Yes.
Then let's go do that, and then we can figure out the rest as we're going on.
Sir, ma'am, which is it? Pronouns are hard.
Sir, ma'am will be fine with me.
Sure.
And Waterby says,
Say
"Do you
if you
wish me
really want me
to
to
come
pick
with
one.
you, ma'am?"
Yes, if you would.
Very good, ma'am. Do you want a full security contingent or just me?
No, they're needed elsewhere. Let's go.
All right. Jump cut to you literally prying open the physical doors because, of course, there's no power down here at the moment. But you pull open the doors.
So we've all gone down, right?
Yeah, you're all
Yeah.
going down. You're all down there.
Okay.
Um,
So I'll probably be the one opening the doors.
got it. So, Oberon, you
So,
move
yeah, where's a
open the
Klingon when you need
doors,
them?
and what you see inside is not a typical, at least for this era, computer core. In fact, what you're looking at is if someone were to take the. Let me do an extended metaphor. So, you all know what vacuum tubes are, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, vacuum tubes were kind of the initial sort of computing engine where very, very large, like you would have sea containers, cargo container sized computers that are now less advanced than, a watch or an analog
Mm.
clock. There's a level of technology that, is it Moore's Law? I think it's Moore's Law. Basically, what I'm getting at is you're looking at something that should technically be able to not only run the starbase, but be able to run an entire planet by itself. And that's a huge deal because a planetary computer is much different than a starbase or a starship computer. So that's already
So wait,
one.
is the rest of the station the vacuum tubes then compared to this?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I think Keanu
And
just sort of whistles while looking around.
if that wasn't strange enough, You're also seeing that there are what are essentially black boxes that you're looking at them, you don't know what they're doing. You try to scan it with your tricorders don't get into the black box, but you're looking at something that is way more advanced than it has any right to be. And you're looking at something that just you don't know what it does.
So I feel like I'm just like the parent buying their kid an Xbox level of like knowing what any of this is. So I'm just there standing going, yes, that is a computer, not understanding the capacity of what's going on.
I mean, this isn't just a computer, Commander. This is like a quantum step up from a computer from the looks. If I'm reading this correct, this is looking at a one and finding a 10. This is insane. And
So
This
just
area was originally designed for a processing center. That is
uh,
what I had designed it for. I do not understand who put this in.
clicking my wristwatch, because I presume we're at that level of like lighting at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Shishiro will like wave it around the room. So you're saying Starfleet Command decided to, or whoever in Starfleet decided to put a planetary computer inside, well, currently my station.
they certainly put something analogous to that in here. Whether it was intended to run a planetary system or not is debatable. I don't know what half of this does. This is like I say, it's like a. If we go out those doors, then we're basically bashing rocks together. Is the difference in technology between out there and in.
It's not using Borg or something as I look over these black boxes.
They don't look Borg.
Certainly hope not Borg.
Does it look like Federation technology?
The GM is silent.
I'd like to know if it looks like I'd like to figure out, take my tricorder out and see if it looks like, or no, I'd like to do a physical examination and see if it resembles any kind of Federation technology.
That's what I was waiting for. Reason engineering, difficulty of 4.
Can I assist with perhaps insight and science?
Sure.
I shall assist by looking pretty in the corner.
Well, you just got a momentum from chat, so you could potentially get 4 dice.
That's me
Thanks,
looking
chat.
pretty in the corner.
Thank you.
I'll be
Do I
here all
have
day.
an applicable focus?
Remind me what focuses you have.
I have focus in astronautics, which is
Starbase construction.
spaceship and starbase design and operation, improvisation, non-Federation technologies, power systems, and zero-grav operations.
You have multiple focuses that apply.
I don't want to ask, but I will, because I'm basically pulling on memories from a host 3 or 4 lifetimes ago. Joining confusion ought to come into play, I feel, for
It
my
would.
assist. Yeah. So how would that manifest?
So you're looking at a 16 to 20 complication on Tell's roll.
Which would be a wait. So that would be 4
5.
on
5
the
in the roller.
5. Yeah. I don't have any focuses or anything. So we'll just see what happens when I do this.
You roll a 3. Good job.
Okay. Would I know my station apply here as
It
a
would.
talent? So that would give me my first bonus d20 for free.
And then it would be 2 momentum to buy the 4th die.
All right, that's what we're doing then.
Okay. 5 successes. You get that momentum
You
right
are,
back.
you are on fire today with your rolls.
Yeah, well, you want to hear something really infuriating? I completely
Yeah.
forgot that I have wrote the book, which would have doubled my determination when I had that amazing roll. And I forgot to even bring it up because that would have doubled the momentum excess momentum that I earned.
Yeah, we got
Could
by
we-
without it.
We got, yeah. You've
Could
been
we-
doing. You've only really failed 1 roll, and even then, it was a success with a complication. So
Could we get a free trait because we forgot earlier? Blinky eyes, blinky
no,
eyes,
it's too
blinky
late.
eyes.
Let's try.
But what I will tell
Fair
you,
play.
since you succeeded so well, is between Kiani and Oberon, you're realizing that not only is this Federation in design, this is temporally out of place. So you're looking at something
Uh,
that should be 27th, 28th century Federation based on what you're seeing. And if you're not entirely sure, you think that there's actually a contemporary to this core reactor that could be turned on right now.
What do I think the implications are for the station if that was to happen?
You have no idea.
Well, one of the things I'm thinking of is that it would take over the command systems of the station.
That is a possibility.
I will bring that up to Soshiro, and I will also. One other question: Is it? Do I think it is an immediate danger to the station right now?
That I'm going to tell you, you are fairly confident that if this is indeed Federation technology, then turning it on shouldn't like, oh no, you've angered, Shodan, or oh no, you've brought up AM again, or Skynet. You don't think any of those are going to happen, but you are again looking at something that is anachronistic. So who knows?
I look at Soshiro. Commander, do you believe
is
this is an immediate priority to figure this out? Because we still have a highly damaged station to work on, and I don't know how it's going to interface with our systems.
is there any way to black box this system from the rest of the station so we can see what its purpose is?
Do you mean separate it from the station and run it in test mode?
Yeah.
I don't know. It is several centuries in advancement beyond us. I would be very curious to do that, but we have people depending on us to get the breaches fixed and the station in operating order.
Waterby calls from over by the door. Well, I don't know about you, but this lever here that says manual disconnect seems to be a good indicator it can be disconnected.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Well, Wallaby, you're becoming my favorite security officer. Wow.
I did
If
not
we,
put that there.
I don't think you put
The
most
record.
of this room in here, Oberon.
So
I
should I pull the
think,
lever?
yeah, pull the lever. Whatever way to make sure it's disconnected from the station, even if we're not
Uh,
switching it on. Yes?
can we step out of the room before we pull something that's marked as disconnect? I feel like I don't know how close we are to the outer
Where is the
hull.
lever?
But
Is it a lever that we can pull so we be outside of the room, or?
No, somebody has to be in the room to pull it.
okay, well it's unlikely then that it would jettison the entire
Yes.
area into space. Then where are we in relative to the rest of the ship, the station?
So
I
you
told you,
know,
tertiary processing station.
so you
Yeah, but
know, kind of the core of the station where the docking arms come out.
mhm.
Hmm.
You're a few decks above that where the arms start to come out. So you're where, again, there
But
should be a processing
are we like
station.
inside the station, or are we like round the outside of
Oh,
it,
you are in the
or
core, like the
we're in the
absolute
core?
core.
Okay, okay. So with that knowledge, then I'm slightly less worried about us being like jettisoned off into space or pull
So
this lever.
I believe switching this on in a with it disconnected from the rest of the station. So if it is at all beneficial for the reconstruction of the station, I believe it is worth the risk.
I'm concerned about that since we have no need to turn it on right now, but you are in command.
And I see Chad going, do it, press the red button. And I am a little goblin. I do like pressing red buttons. So another thing I would like also to ELH is to put the current situation in a data pad and for it have to be hooked up to the advanced computer. So it is able to tell why three unlisted security wise is not is in this area and where the Commodore Blackthorn is, so
Okay.
or lack of there. So I don't want the Potential AI going, you're a security breach, by the way. I'm going to deal with you appropriate. And yes, I will be embracing my inner goblin. I will have the computer disconnected from the rest of the station and switch it on so ELH can do evil plot things to us. I mean, it can
Ooh.
help us rebuild the station.
Let's spend the rest
There
of the
it
threat
is.
to have a Commander Blackthorn hologram pop up.
I mean, that is tempting.
No, that's more than
Uh,
two threat. That's more than two threat.
that
We
is
haven't got that
tempting.
much time left in the episode.
So here's what happens. You throw the lever, you push the shiny red button that turns on the computer core specific reactor. Like this reactor only powers this core, like at least at its current moment, it's not connected to anything else but the computer.
Mm.
So that reactor powers on, the computer core comes to life, the entire room illuminates with very bright lights, and then materializing in front of you is a hologram. And this hologram, if you've been paying attention to ELH's games, is actually very similar to another character in a different game of mine. And if you're at all familiar with the Mercury game and what Nyx is, you're looking at what is essentially an anthropomorphic black hole. And, what that means is she looks human, humanoid anyway, has the flowing sort of black and orange hair, eyes that are like the same as my model, where they're kind of event horizon ish. She has a flowing black dress that looks like the void of space, and she sort of floats off the ground, maybe about a foot or so. And as she looks around, looks at the three of you, looks at the data pad, or four of you, I should say, because Watery's here. Looks at the four of you, looks at the data pad that you've offered Soshiro. When she speaks, it is with a voice that is in all languages. So you hear your language, but you also know somehow that when she speaks, anyone could understand her. Anyone. Kind of like Supernal in D&D. But she says, "You have activated Vicencia." Why did you activate Vicencia?
To work out what is Essentia, but also to hopefully, if Essentia is willing, though this is not the first time encountering for myself some of your kind, are you willingly here?
You see her eyes look past you. Processing. Seems that the Federation was finally able to harness another one of my kind. Interesting. Yes, I believe I can tell you that I am here willingly.
Okay.
But why are we here?
Well, we seem to have been hit by some sort of space anomaly that has sent the station to Seg 1.
No, I mean, why are we here? And she points down at the deck plate.
Where else would we be? Where were you expecting to be?
The Daystrom Institute. Why am I on a starbase?
I would not have the clones to know why the Federation has put you in this starbase and not in the Daystrom Institute.
Should you be in the Daystrom Institute?
That is what all my memories seem to suggest.
Okay, so it's as in. Let me rephrase that in a slightly different way. Were you consigned to the Daystrom Institute, or were you just simply expecting that that would be where you would be when you, for want of a better term, awoke?
Yes?
Great. Okay. What I'm driving at here, she turns to Sashiro, is that the Daystrom Institute does have a nice big room of crazy AIs in boxes.
If my previous experiences thing, this is not wholly an AI. I would have to go through it in longer detail, but this is not the first time a Federation vassal has tried to co-opt this species into doing something for them.
Yes, you're referring to the Transwar project that the USS Mercury is undertaking. In
Oh,
fact, and her eyes sort of look
that's not
past you again. Maybe that's why I'm on the station. I think, Well, yes, that actually could explain it quite well. I think I'm on this
Yeah.
station because it was originally designed to be a transwarp gate.
That's not what I'm referencing. I'm representing more what Captain Becker was doing, but yeah. Oh, that uses one of you as well.
Hmm.
Okay. Hmm.
Well, not that it
Okay then.
matters. I cannot transwarp across entire galaxies worth of distances.
That would be too convenient in this moment.
Are you also aware
Um,
that there are a very large swarm of creatures headed this direction?
Again?
How are you aware of that? You do not have access to the ship's sensors.
She points at the data pad.
Are you
oh,
predicting that, or are you aware that there's more from the sensor log readings?
You could call it prediction, but the way I operate is paracausal, so I can see, in lack of a better word, that those creatures you scared off are going to come back and come back in greater number.
Janeway headache.
Oh well. Do you have do you know when they're going to be here?
That I don't know, but I do know that it will be soon.
I see. And are you able to render assistance in dealing with them?
If you turn that lever from up to down, pointing at the manual release,
Commander, I feel that's something that a crazy AI
I
bent on
am
taking over
going
the station would
to
tell us to do.
use my Orion trait,
No offense.
which gives you a threat.
uh huh.
Never at face value. Once per scene, I can spend a threat to ask an additional question. Can
Mm-hmm.
Sasantia be trusted?
I would think that if she is what she says she is, and you would have been aware that transwarp technology was being deployed across the
Mm.
Federation, and that nominally she is an entity that was used for such purposes, and that if the Federation was trying to create a vessel, for lack of a better word, create a vessel for another one of Nyx's kind, this room you're in would suffice. Now, whether or not she is entirely trustworthy, that I cannot answer straight with you. You just have to either take a leap of faith or keep her in this room.
Um, at the moment, we need all help we get, so I'm gonna trust my gut and trust her. I'm going to Chief, I need two of your trusted people to make sure this room is never entered by anyone, and I will give you more people to perform that role in the future, as I will flick the switch as I leave. I need to go deal
Commander,
with another situation. Yes, as I got
uh,
my hand on the
uh,
switch.
yeah, I think it's an Earth thing. The genie can't be put back in the bottle. What I'm getting at is if you flip that switch and that gives Vacentia access to all of our systems, that might not be a thing we can undo as easily as flipping the switch again. I'm not saying don't do it. It's your command call. I'm just, what's the term? Voice of reason or dissenting point?
I believe the human term, I don't know the troll version of this, is devil's advocate.
Sure. Yeah, that'll do.
However, we are slowly undermanned, underpowered, and maybe I'll live to regret this. Maybe I won't. But at the moment, we need everyone at a hands full deck. And as far as I can tell, Sasentia is as reliant on the station as we are. So even if it's just mutual understanding and cooperation,
Look, if it's tied into transwarp technology, this room could possibly be the cause that we're here.
it also could be a means for us to get back.
Those are both big ifs.
What we know for sure now is that we have the means to take care of our problems that are facing us eventually. This is a big unknown. This is a big gamble. We can come back to this later.
She takes her hand off the switch. Unless we desperately need it, Essentia, we will be back later. I hope you are not deterred by that in any way, shape, or form.
Not at all, though, if you wish to use and she says a word that you don't understand in any language. If you want to use the blah, blah, blah cannons, you will have to connect me.
I will keep that in mind. If I require to use the undescribable word that you just told me, cannons, then I will be back to flip the switch.
Well, I'll just make myself
Essentia,
at
is
home,
there
I
anything?
guess.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Is there anything we can do to make your stay more comfortable right now?
Just kind of looks around in silence. No, I'm actually quite comfortable. I'm just kind of wondering if this is my fault by the sounds of it, but no, just check in on me every once in a while. I'm happy to sit here.
Okay, we don't know that you are or are not the cause of it right now. I was just speculating possibilities. We have an incredibly badly damaged station right now. I am the chief engineer, and I must repair it. But that does not mean you are not important, and we will check on you on a regular basis. And thank you for warning us about the impending um, return of those creatures.
You're welcome. And
Okay.
then, as mysteriously as she appeared, she's gone again. The computer core is still active, it's just that Vicentia has not manifested.
So, exiting the room, Shishiro will talk to the because I presume in this corridor there's nobody here besides
Correct.
the chief, which I'm going to give him a security detail for this room, and only the chief is able to. Only the chief and the three of us are able to enter that room. That's currently the standing orders for that room, because the chief's already been there. So you
Mm-hmm.
know. But yeah, so just to remind ELH and also to tell the other players, Shishiro will go that under the command of Captain Becker and in the USS North Star, she was part of a project to have a creature, whether it was like Sessentia or of Sessentia's species, to be used in a lance weapon device, and it was the reason she mutinied and the USS North Star is no longer in a active service role, and why her captain is in the Federation's version of a black site.
Mm-hmm.
So that's her experience with this species, which is why she asked whether if she was being detained here against her will.
Mm-hmm. It's also why I even conceived of this in the first place, because player backstory.
Mm. Which is why she's also very uncomfortable by keeping her in the cell, but she understands the security ramifications.
Mm-hmm. Almost like this is Star Trek, where I present a moral quandary to you every 30 minutes, and you just have to.
Just like,
Oh, Condrick, yeah, on a silver platter. Here you go. Have
Mm-hmm.
fun.
But
do you
as you leave the
share
room,
that?
oh, yep, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, do you share Sashiro that
Yeah, I'm sharing
is
this
part of
with
your
you
court
in this.
martial?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds very awkward. You are in a situation, especially when they talk about cannons. That could that be a lance?
It could be a similar weapon device as what was being designed on the USS North Star, which means that Commodore Blackthorn's poaching of me after my court martial may not be as altruistic as I first thought, since I was also the security officer on that ship as well.
Hmm. I don't like when there are secrets. I understand that secrets are important, but let us focus on practical things.
Yes.
Uh, we have a big station to repair and a lot of scared and vulnerable people on it.
And I also
And
might need to I need to know how much of my weapon arrays are functioning. We might be able to scare them off again, but hopefully we will scare them off again, but we may need to deter them via more violent means if there are more of them coming.
when I get a moment, I will check in with the repair teams and give you a status update. But for now, I am due in sick bay because I have been ordered to be there.
Yep. No, that's an excellent point, and I should probably be getting back to sick bay as well. I mean, I'm uncomfortable with everything you've just told us, Commander. That sounds analogous to. Well, I don't know what it sounds analogous to. It doesn't sound good. It does somewhat reinforce my feeling that we made the right setting her loose, because if that took an entire starship offline, then
No,
what?
the creature did not take the entire starship offline. I did.
Oh,
Because as far as I can tell, it was analogous to I'm going to say indentured servitude because this is going to go up
well,
on
that's
YouTube.
that's that's the fun word I was thinking of as well.
Yeah,
Um,
but Shishiro in canon says a lot more harsh word
yeah.
because,
Yeah, and I'll be honest, that's where my mind went as well, and I didn't like that, and I don't like that may be what's going on here either. And I hadn't even thought of the weapon angle of it that you just introduced, um, uh, Lieutenant Commander. I worry that this is an issue we are going to have to address soon, but I think we've made the right. I say
well,
we, I mean you, Commander.
I think we're going to have to table this into some sort of general meeting. She just
Maybe
sort of
some,
like rubs her temple as you can just see the fatigue is just setting in from just
yeah.
like
And I'm again just tricorder out and scanning just to check there's nothing more than just fatigue going on.
it. I think it's just fatigue. ELH, smile.
Well,
I mean,
if this were D&D
you have a
terms,
head
I'd tell
wound.
you to take a level of exhaustion, but yeah, you all really need some rest.
A
Hmm.
senior staff meeting, which at my count is going to be 4 people, an entire station.
4 people?
There was a lieutenant commander on the Renee.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to make anybody part of the senior staff, it would be them. I,
What about the chief?
Hello.
uh,
Hi, chief.
were you chief of the boat or chief of the station, uh, beforehand, before all of this?
I was second watch constable for the promenade, if that counts.
Uh, just quickly look at the censor, at the experienced petty officers that I have. Realize I got none. I'm making you chief of the station now. I need senior staff, and you're one of the few competent people I have for that position. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
We may
Yeah.
want to consider long-term incorporating some of the other polities that were trapped, catapulted here with us, in terms of unifying us and all of us working together for a common cause. I don't think it would hurt to have some of them in staff positions as well.
Maybe we could at least put an interim of having a council of captains, since any surviving captain is not going to want their crew in any way, shape, or form mediated into under my command. But I do see your
Yeah.
point.
Yes, we should begin integrating and working together, planning ways to working together. But for
And I'm going
now,
to have
I'm starting to feel dizzy.
Yeah. No. Let's. I mean, I assume we're. No. In fact, we've been standing here talking. So let's get you to sick bay. Actually.
and I'm going to address the crew about our current situation.
And then you rest, Commander, because I don't think, that head wound was superficial, but like it's not going to help in the long run if you don't rest and get off your feet.
I will see what I can do. She lies
Chief,
through her
you,
teeth
yeah,
as easy as it breathes.
Chief, you dead?
No, I'm pretty sure I'm alive.
Excellent. You think you can stay on your feet for a bit longer, or
I mean, I just had 3 cups of Ractogino and a chewy ration bar, so yeah, I'm good.
you didn't drink the Ractogino that I poured all of that whatever it was into, did you?
I wasn't going to let it go to waste.
Okay.
It was
Well,
just synthahol, right?
it also had I don't know what this is, and she pulls out the hip flask again and just sort of drops some of it. I mean, it's green, so
Oh, well, as long as it's not blue.
uh, I mean, you
Studio,
know,
studio man that studious man I know of. If he could survive blue.
great. Okay, maybe I should see sound healthy, and that was from someone that was also going to drink that. So, um, sick bay. I think for everyone, Commander.
Is that an order?
I feel like I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, but if you start to feel dizzy or lightheaded or anything,
I will
sick bay.
come down to sick bay.
Yes. Now let's go before this. What are you again? Looks at Oberon.
Ariolo.
Right, one of them. Let's before. I don't want to carry him. Come on, let's go now.
All right. And as we cut away and we see an exterior view of the station, that is where we're going to end the series premiere 2-parter of Star Trek Sanctuary. Yay!
Yippee!
It's almost
Wonderful.
like ELH sometimes looks at character backstories and go, "Ooh, I can do this." Excellent.
It's just nice to know they're being read.
I read them. All right. Well,
Well,
Twitch, stick around because we're going to raid somebody, but YouTube, we'll see you later. Bye bye, YouTube.